Good day, everyone. Welcome back to Fighters Trading Channel, and we are back again with another Forex Flows video. Within the Forex Flow series, what we do is we actually analyze the currency pairs and we take a look at what's happened in the markets and how we can potentially capitalize on it. Now, in regards to the Forex pairs, this is a little bit different to the other analysis, as I've noticed Forex pairs don't move as fast. And for that reason, I've scaled down my analysis to do this once a week, perhaps twice a week. And while the weekly flows video still includes a broad range currency analysis, this video is just to do a deep dive into the 4-hour and below timeframes to see how we can capitalize within the intraday trading scheme. Now, I don't trade these every day, but it's still good to have an analysis on the table so we can potentially capitalize when the markets make something available. So, without further ado, let's hop into the analysis. So, we are starting with EURUSD. We are on the 4-hour time frame, and let's see what we can see. So, EURUSD on the 4-hour time frame, we can see that this pair is very much moving into a bullish trend line now. We did have a bit of a bearish move to the downside, and we found support at the break and retest level at 1.109. Now, markets did have a strong retracement to the downside, but we see we have broken this bearish resistance trend line, and we are now trading to the upside. So within the bullish trend, let's see what we can observe. Well, the trend continues to make a higher low and respective higher high structures. We are trading above the 50 SMA, and we are in the bullish region of the RSI, actually about to tap into the sweet spot region between 45 and 55, which indicates to me that the retracement that is currently taking place is about to end, and I should start looking for further long positions. So that's on the 4-hour time frame. Let's go into 1 hour. On the 1-hour time frame, we can see we have our previous higher low structure at 1.12. And we have a break and retest level, or potential break and retest level, at 1.1276. Price currently in a retracement. We have lots of wick rejections to the upside, and the market seems to be moving steady to the downside, looking like we may find support at that break and retest level of 1.1276. At the moment, price is breaking below the 50 SMA. We are in the bearish region of the RSI in the 1 hour. But when we look at the confluence coming out of the 4-hour time frame, we know that overall the trend is still bullish, and we are currently in an intraday bearish trend, and we will have to wait to see how price reacts to 1.1276, and then from there look for that long position. On the 15-minute, we can see we are bearish, so if you are scalping, we can look for short positions. Trading below the 50 SMA on the 1 hour, trading below 50 SMA on the 15-minute. We'll wait for a retracement up into sweet spot and then trade down to 1.1276. Looking at EURJPY, EURJPY has been making very much consolidative moves. We did tap that bearish resistance trend line from the higher time frame, and we've made a downside move. So currently we are in a bearish trend with this market. Upon the 50 SMA, we can see that we are trading below the 50 SMA, and we are very much in the bearish region of the RSI. So further bearish movements are expected. Within the 1 hour time frame, we're trading comfortably below the 50 SMA. We are in the bearish region of the RSI. Despite having a consolidation zone where price traded upon the 50 SMA, we've continued to make lows from that position. At the current moment, we have our lower high structure at 163.37. Excuse me. We are currently on an impulse move to the downside, and awaiting a retracement. I could potentially see a retracement coming towards the 162.5 level, let's say that. Markets coming back there, testing that level and continuing to the downside. So I'll be looking for short positions with EURJPY. USDJPY, it appears that the yen is gaining strength against the USD, and we continue to make very bearish moves. We can see very steady structure here. Sorry, let's just switch back to the 4 hour. So on the 4-hour time frame, we're comfortably trading below the 50 SMA. We're in the bearish region of the RSI, and we can see bearish structure at play with lower highs and respective lower lows. On the 1 hour, this is made a little bit more clear where the retracement points are, and we can see we comfortably get into the sweet spot regions. We had multiple tests. There's one right here on the 20th of May. We had two others on the 20th of May. We had another 21st of May, and then today, 22nd of May this morning. And it looks like we are in a retracement. We are going to test the bearish resistance trend line, and we could potentially be looking to make further lows in this market. Where could I potentially see this retesting? Well, per the behavioral move off this trend, I could see this being a break and retest level for resistance now. Price is currently upon that level, and we just have to wait for a bearish sign. In fact, I'm going to start taking a runner trade from here and seeing how this trade actually plays out. We know we don't look at this on the 15-minute. So we're just waiting for price action at this moment in time. We can see we have a strong, full-bodied bearish Maribozu, but we did not get the confirmation candle. So we are still awaiting our signal per the 15-minute chart. From what we can observe, though, price is going to continue bearish. From a higher time frame perspective, we are approaching that support zone at 140.9. This level's been tapped already, or let's say 141.0. This level's been tapped, so there's potential for the markets to actually spike higher. Just observing how the candlesticks are forming on the daily, we do have a spinning top formation currently, but for the most part, it has been a steady flow of bearish candles, so we will continue to look for short positions until the market tells us otherwise. So that's very much the analysis of the main pairs. Let's just take a look at the DXY. So DXY, we are very much bearish on this move. As I mentioned, the markets were retracing, and then we have downside potential for the dollar now. We're trading below the 50 SMA, and we are in the bearish region of the RSI. I am expecting further downside movements. The DXY seems to be on a retracement. We could potentially get up to about 100.2 and then continue further to the downside. In fact, we could get below 100.2, perhaps just 100 on the dot, as we can see where the wick rejections lie, and then retrace and continue to the downside. For the 1 hour, we're currently testing the 50 SMA, but I do believe we have potential to hit that 100 zone despite the break above, and then continue to the downside. Per the Euro index, while we did break the bullish support trend line, markets have continued bullish. We did have a drop all the way down to 110.88, but markets have firmly turned around since that point. We are comfortably trading above the 50 SMA, and we're in the bullish region of the RSI, expecting this market to make further highs as dollar weakness steps in. Now remember, this is all from a very technical perspective, and you still need to filter in your fundamentals to ensure that the analysis actually correlates. Now from the JXY, we can see that this market actually dropped below the bullish support trend line too, and then broke back within the range. appears to have made a new one, but for the most part, price is above the 50 SMA. We're in the bullish region of the RSI, and we do expect to make further highs. The levels I would watch out for here, though, is this resistance trend line at 70.31, as this was the previous lower high, well-formed lower high that was created. I mean, we do have that there, and we have broken above it, so this is confluence that the bullish trend will continue, but we could potentially just see a retracement from that level before a further push to the upside. So that is the indices for currencies. Let's see what USD ZAR is doing. USD ZAR has been enjoying a very bearish run, so ZAR strength, dollar weakness. Surprisingly, because we actually peaked at 19.9, and we are at 18.03 at the moment, which is great. Do I expect further downside movement? Well, per the trend, yes. We have broken the bullish support trend line, and this favors the ZAR. What I can potentially see is a break and retest level here. So seeing how price closes upon this level or breaks back within the support structure, we will then have to wait and see how this is treated and if we have further downside potential once price reacts to this particular level. CHF-JPY, very much moving in a broad range consolidation, but its pivot points aren't exactly hitting the resistance levels at the moment. From what we can observe, we can see we are moving bearish at the moment. We do have a support level at 173.384. However, yeah, this market is just doing some wavy things. It's not exactly, as we can see, respecting support levels. It's respecting resistance though, but we are on a downside move, and I more or less want to trade this on the upside. Per the indicators, we can see we're not really respecting the 50 SMA at the moment. We're breaking in and out of the sweet spot zone on the RSI, and for that reason, I'm staying out of this market. EURJPY, well, we had a strong AUD move to the upside, tapping that lower high position at 95.381, and then markets turned around again. So the bears are back in control. I'm going to delete this trend line. Delete. Perfect. Yeah, so the bears are definitely back in control. Would be looking for short positions here, which makes sense. The yen is currently strong. It is making some highs. What can we see? Well, price trading below the 50 SMA. We had the bullish region, bearish region of the RSI, trading below 45 between 30 on the 1 hour time frame. We're below the 50 SMA. We're trading in the bearish region of the RSI. So we have confluence between the 4 hour and the 1 hour time frame. Awesome stuff. We are currently on an impulse move to the downside. We do need a weighted retracement back within the sweet spot above 45 between 55. Once we are in that zone, I will know the retracement is taking place, the retracement is potentially ending, and I will have a higher probability chance of getting in on a short position there. So AUD, JPY, definitely some opportunities. AUD, USD, well, very tight range consolidation, so we're not even going to take a look at this pair. GBP, JPY, clearly in a bearish move. We're trading below the 50 SMA. We're trading in the bearish region of the RSI. Let's go into the 1 hour and see what we can see. Well, we have bearish resistance trend line here, and we have 3-point touches. 1, 2, 3. So it's clearly a validated trend. We're trading below the 50 SMA after a consolidative period. The bearish trend has resumed. We are trading below the 45 region, above 30, so bearish region of the RSI. So impulse move currently awaiting that retracement into the sweet spot. Could potentially see a capitalization at 192.65. Waiting price to get close to 50 SMA, and within the sweet spot region, I'll definitely be looking for a short position there in favor of the yen. GBP USD, what can I see here? I think it's very much moving bullish. Yep, very much moving bullish. So pound clearly in control against the dollar. We are continuing to make highs. We don't have a validated touch, but we do see higher low and higher high structures. And price currently in a retracement. We are trading above the 50 SMA after a consolidation period. We are trading in the sweet spot region of the RSI. Ooh, so we could potentially be seeing an opportunity for a long position from here. How would we trade this? Well, break and retest level right here at 1.339. Waiting for price to react per price action. Waiting for maybe fundamentals to kick in, indicating that there's dollar weakness, pound strength, and then once price action confirms, trading this to the upside. We are trading below the 50 SMA on the 1 hour. We are in the bearish region of the RSI, but for the most part, I am confident that this market is going to continue making highs. Would just be careful though, because as much as I say that, I then observe the massive resistance level here at 1.343. So yeah, just trade that with caution, but for the most part, bulls are in control and I'm trading with the trend, so I would wait for confirmation and trade to the upside. USD CAD, not been my favorite pair, so I'm not even going to take a look at it. Euro AUD consolidating, not really massive moves per what we can observe, so staying out. Same with Euro CAD. So yeah, that's pretty much the currency analysis. I do know we have fundamentals today, so let's take a look at what fundamentals we have. All right. What can we observe? Well, we've had some fundamentals already play out. So we can see Euro PMI news from French and German sides. Very much neutral. French is positive, but German was negative. Flash PMI service actually shows it in the negative. So that's bad for Euro. Looking at pound, neutral for the most part. But we had a negative manufacturing PMI, which makes sense because with the announcement of the increase of tariffs coming out of the US and the greenback being the major currency still, manufacturing would have suffered because they wouldn't have been able to get their products to international markets. So with the pausing of tariffs, let's actually see how the markets react to this within the next month. So while there's very negative connotation at the moment coming out of pound and euro, we still have to wait to see how USD actually responds to this and if their manufacturing was any better considering they were the ones that implemented the tariffs. So we have news at 2:30 with unemployment claims, and then 3:45 we have PMI. So factor that into your trading. Make sure your technical analysis is aligned with the fundamentals being released. Also, if you are trading on TradingView and you have a cellular device or a tablet, there's awesome news articles there for you to read that gives you a good fundamental understanding of how the markets are positioned. Be sure to read that. Read a few articles. Actually gauge the bias coming out of this. Write down the bias for each article that you read and see what the predominant sentiment coming out of these articles are. This will give you an indication as to what investors are reading and in turn how they are positioning themselves in the market. Now, of course, this news comes out of like the back end of the institutional traders, but as a retail trader, we're not here to catch the massive moves. We're not here to move the markets. We are here to pick up the crumbs and actually follow suit to what the money makers are doing, what the institutional traders and the banks are doing. So we're not here to catch 85% of the move. We're here to catch 50%, but we got to make sure that 50% we catch creates a massive balance in our trading account, a balance that we can then use to make even more profits. So with that is analysis for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this new installment of Forex Flows. If you did, please like and subscribe and let me know what you think in the comments. And with that, traders, I'll catch you in the next video. Cheers.